Welcome back to my channel. It's Michelle here from Move Life. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm really having fun just like putting this content out there for whoever, anybody who wants to see, who wants to learn, giving you the tools that you need to stay healthy or start living more of a healthy, alternative, wellness life. So for today, I wanted to get into a few different things. First of all, I wanted to chat with you a little bit more about how and why I got into this lifestyle. I'm also going to be chatting with you guys about a special blood sensitivity, food sensitivity test that I had taken, why I took it, and how it has extremely helped me in so many ways. And then also I'm going to show you guys my new sweet potato bruschetta recipe. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram a little while back, and I just had so many of you guys messaging me and really wanting the recipe, so I thought I would just put it out there, give it to you guys, and let you have it. I will put the link down below, movelife.com. Take a look, enjoy. It's so yummy, very tasteful, healthy, and I'm pretty sure like majority of you guys will like it. It's really good. So anyways, enough about that. So let's get started. First off, I really wanted to get into, I think majority of you guys know I lost my mom to cancer when I was 8 years old, which is a huge traumatic, life-changing event. But the thing is it had to do with health. And so I remember just always thinking to myself, how did this happen? Why did it happen? Is there something that I can do to prevent this? Or, you know, if I knew more knowledge, I would have been able to help her. I just had this mindset in my head for so long. Looking at it now, I realized that it wasn't my job to fix her, and it wasn't my job to figure out what was going on with her. However, learning from her as my parent, obviously I'm going to learn that there are hopefully things that I can do as a woman, as a person, as a child to hopefully prevent any kind of diseases and things such as cancer that my mom got. So what has happened is I have just been very interested, reading books, listening to podcasts, which are now a newer thing, and just talking to as many people as possible to try to figure out what's going on with my body, how I'm feeling, how I can learn from certain things, and how I can live a healthier lifestyle, I think is the big point. So I know it's really tricky because there's so much information out there and people just get really overwhelmed with what is right, what is wrong, what to do, when to do it, all those sort of things. So I'm just gonna give you a quick brief of what I did. When I was younger, I became a vegetarian, and I'm not saying that you need to become a vegetarian, just that is something that really helped me looking at the industry of meat and how it is being just in mass produced. It just didn't resonate well with me. So personally, I became a vegetarian. Now with that, there are other things that can come up. So you can also start to become a carbivore, which is eating too many carbs. So that was one thing I definitely got into, ate a lot of bread, ate a lot of cereal, ate a lot of granola bars, all of that crap. And there are good forms of those things, but majority of the things on the market are not so healthy for you. So that's another subject. We'll get into that a little bit more another day. But basically, I kind of went on this constant yearning and searching for the next best diet, the next best like thing to make me healthy, to make me feel good. I have a lot of digestive issues myself, and I can feel that often. I can gain weight very, very easily. So for me, I had a lot of things showing in my body that I needed to figure out. I just knew the way I was feeling, having cramps, having pain, having bloating, having eczema, having certain things like that, is when I knew that there was something going on, which is why I just continued to research and look into it. So years go by and I continue to try different things, do different diets, try different exercising, just like a whole array of different things. And then it was when I moved to the city where I was getting really, really, really terrible eczema. And like when I say terrible, I mean like the whole like bottom of my legs were like filled with blood because I was like scratching it so hard. It was disgusting. I had a wedding and like I couldn't wear a dress. It was just disgusting and terrible and like just so gross. And anyways, long story short, I was going through a very stressful time in my life. So obviously stress is a huge factor. I was drinking too much alcohol because I just like moved to the city and it was fun and party and all that fun stuff. And then also the eating. I was just eating a lot of foods that were maybe not so healthy for me, and it was affecting me greatly. I was getting cold sores constantly, which is a form of stress. My body shows that I'm stressed when I have cold sores, not sleeping enough, not eating the right foods, and just like there was just a lot of stuff going on. So went to my naturopath, talked to her about what could possibly be going on, changed my lifestyle in ways that I needed to, helped heal my gut, which I think is a truly like a mass thing with our society right now, with all the foods and stress that we have on our bodies. It is causing massive havoc on our guts. Antibiotics, if you're ever on antibiotics, you really need to take care of your gut flora and health and just work with a naturopath or even somebody like me who can kind of guide you along the way. But I truly think that's really important to do first. So worked on that, tried the elimination diet, which is eliminating any foods that could possibly be stressful on my body. It's different for everybody. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to pinpoint exactly what was going on or what I was eating that wasn't good for my body. So even though I tried all these other things and I got my gut health back in track, I still was having the flu often. I was getting those cold sores and I was still kind of like itchy. I didn't have the massive eczema anymore, but I was still like kind of feeling funny. I knew something was still up. So this is when I turned to doing a blood sensitivity test. And before we begin, I'm just going to show you what it entails. I actually have them here. So if you would like to do a test, I have them. I can ship them to you anywhere in the world, and you can do this. So just before we begin. But all the information comes in here. There's a little prick, like a little needle that you prick your finger, and then you get the blood and you actually just put it on a little piece of paper. So it's not like you're taking like a huge vial of blood. You're actually just gonna put that little bit of blood here on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different circles. And then you're gonna just put everything back in here, fill out the information, and I explain all of that. And then you send this in the mail to the lab and we get your results back and it'll tell you your sensitivities. So let's rewind now. Okay, so let's talk about the differences between a food allergy and a food intolerance or a food sensitivity. If we take a look at a food allergy, this is a test that you're going to do when you go to the doctor. They're going to do all the little pricks on your hand or on your arm of different foods, and you are going to have a reaction basically right away. Okay, so what is happening is when you have an allergic reaction to food, there is an immediate histamine response that is happening. An antibody, IgE, is going to be released and it is going to travel to your white blood cells, and with that you're going to have an immediate histamine response. You're going to have nausea, hives, swelling of the eyes, the throat. You can even have a blockage of the airway. So this is immediate response when you are allergic to a food. So unlike a food allergy where you get that immediate histamine response, with a food sensitivity, those antibodies that are being released, the IgG antibody, it is going to give you a slow inflammatory response. So it's very slow reacting, anywhere from about 48 to 72 hours later, which is why it's really difficult to really pinpoint exactly which foods are affecting you. So with this, you are going to find you can get migraines, asthma, eczema, joint pain, and brain fog. So all of these are symptoms to if you have a food sensitivity or an intolerance, which is why I'm explaining about the eczema, how I was having that. I just knew there was something a little bit more serious going on. So with this low-grade inflammatory response that you're having, if you have that food every once in a while, you're not going to get something like eczema, or even like the asthma attacks aren't going to be necessarily as big. However, if you are consuming these foods on a daily basis, you are causing a chronic inflammatory response. So if you are somebody who is experiencing any of those symptoms, whether it's brain fog, whether it's asthma, or different kinds of inflammatory responses that way, so whether you're getting lots of ear infections, maybe you're getting a lot of throat infections, that's a very phlegmy response. That could be like an allergy to maybe dairy, something like that. Now, if you are somebody who is having, and migraines, a lot of people can't figure out exactly how or why they're getting migraines, but if you take a look at the fact that if you have an intolerance to food and it doesn't show up for like 48 to 72 hours later, this is probably why they can't pinpoint exactly what is happening. And perhaps if you have a little bit of that food, maybe it's okay for your body and your body can actually deal with it. Whereas if you consume a large amount of that food, or maybe a few consecutive days of having that food, that's when you're gonna get the huge migraine or have one of these other symptoms come up in a large way. So anyways, I know that's a lot of information, but I think it's really important to really understand the science behind it, because this isn't just some like hoopla idea. This is actual facts, and there's actual antibodies that are being released, and there's actual issues going on with your body. Each of us are different. Each of us have different allergies, different sensitivities. It is completely up to the person. Now, if you have other things going on with your body or going wrong with your body, then you're going to find that you're having a lot more of this. Maybe if you're consuming a lot of the foods that you're sensitive to, or maybe if you have like a parasite, or if you have just something else going on with your gut. Like I said, if you had an antibiotic and then you have something going on with your gut flora, and then you're going to be eating these foods that you're sensitive to as well, that's just going to cause like a ripple effect. So I found, honestly, I was so frustrated with everything, not being able to pinpoint exactly what was going on, and I knew something was serious. And I just look back at like what my mom went through, and I know that I'm just not going to sit back and just continue watching my body be pissed off and watch my body and feel uncomfortable and just not feel like I was healthy, not feel like my body was working the way that it should be. And I just knew that I had to do something about it. So took the test, sent it away, and I was amazed at what came back. Even my naturopath was actually like baffled at my results. A lot of the foods that I was eating on a daily basis were the foods that I was sensitive to. Now, I'm not saying that I don't eat any of those foods anymore. However, I eat them a lot less. What happens is it gives you back the results, and there's a 1, 2, or 3 stars. 1 means that you are slightly sensitive to the food. 2 and 3 means you are much more sensitive to the food. So I had a big chunk of items that were 3. So basically you should just eliminate them and not eat those foods. Now, I did have a lot of other foods that were only a 1. And with those things, I'll only have those maybe like every 3 days. And I seem to be fine with that. And that's okay. And it's not causing a lot of stress on my body. To be completely honest with you, I don't think I've really been sick since that happened. I think I had like a cold once or twice here and there. I am just so happy, and I just can't even explain enough at how much I love this test. If you're somebody who suffers from migraines, eczema, brain fog, inflammatory responses, honestly, and I'm a firm believer that if I would have continued doing that, that would have led to a larger problem in the future. We know that a lot of major diseases are caused by inflammatory responses, chronic inflammatory responses, like cancer, like heart diseases, like diabetes. All these inflammatory response reactions can cause diseases like this. So if I would have continued on eating these foods, it could have led to me having even like MS, could have led to me having one of these diseases. So I'm just really thankful that I figured out what was wrong with me. I do feel like our bodies do change, so I definitely will take the test again in time. But for now, I'm just super pumped that I figured it out. Now, I did obviously find out one of the foods that I am slightly sensitive to is wheat. I don't eat a lot of it, so I think that's why I wasn't like really sensitive to it, whereas maybe I would have been in the past. But I did have a 1 star. So I eat it every once in a while, but I don't eat it every day. And so I thought I would show you guys a new amazing recipe that I just created. It is a sweet potato toast with bruschetta on top. I'm gonna head to the kitchen. I really wanna show you guys, and I would love for you guys to try it. The recipe, like I said, down below, click the link, movelife.com. And yeah, let's get to it. Let's make some bruschetta. By the way, if you guys are interested in doing the test anywhere, if you live anywhere in the world, I can mail it to you. You do the test, you send it off to the lab, and then I get the information back, and you will get a phone call or an email with that information telling you what your results are, and then also a little bit of guidance on what else could possibly be going on with your body. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a message, whether it be email, whether it be on my social media, whether it be down below here in the comments, whatever you'd like. Just this is something that was life-changing for me, and I am really, really excited about it, and I am really excited to be sharing it with you guys. So if you're interested, shoot me a message. Also, before we head into the kitchen, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to continue doing this. All right, let's head to the kitchen and make some sweet potato bruschetta. So of course we need a sweet potato, and then you're going to slice it up the way that you would like. For instructions on how to bake it, you can find that recipe down below. For the bruschetta, you need tomato, green onion, basil, garlic, and a little bit of olive oil. So you're gonna take all of those yummy, delicious ingredients. You're gonna chop it up, add it together, and voila, you have yourself the bruschetta mix. So we're here in my kitchen. We're gonna make this sweet potato bruschetta. As you've seen, I've already cooked up the sweet potato. You can either put it in the oven or in the toaster. I put it in the oven just because I have the whole potato that I cut up, and then it's just easier to get it all done at once. It takes a little bit longer than if you put it in the toaster, if you're just wanting like 1 or 2 pieces, but this is a whole potato. So then I've already got my mixture for my bruschetta here. Another thing with this is I really love letting it sit for a little while, so I'll even do it like maybe like 3-4 hours before I want to eat it. You can definitely have it right away, but there's something about like the flavors really absorbing into the tomatoes that I really love about that. It makes it nice and like garlicky, really powerful. And then also I'm going to be adding a little bit of spinach to it. Now I usually use arugula. I was all out of arugula, sorry guys. But instead I'm using spinach. Spinach is amazing. It's one of my favorite greens, so we're gonna add that to it. So as you can see, I've got all my sweet potatoes here. They are not sticking to the pan, so just make sure of that before you start. You can also crisp them. If you want them crispier, you can put them on broil for a little bit, but I like it just the way that it is right now. They are soft enough that you can chew into it perfectly. So I'm gonna put a little bit of the spinach on top of each of these sweet potatoes. All right, so I've got just enough of the spinach on top, and then I'm gonna be adding a nice amount of this bruschetta mix, and you just kind of spoonful a bunch of it on top. So today I'm actually working on the recipe, so I don't have exact amounts down pat, but by the time that I put this out there, I will have that out there for you. So let's just hope that, oh, and I'll link it down below. If you want the exact recipe, you can find so many more of my recipes at movelife.com, and I will link that down below, and this will definitely be there once you see the video. But let's hope for today that it's enough. I think it is actually, which is pretty awesome, because then I won't have to do any changing with the recipe. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yummy. Oh my gosh, this is one of the, like honestly, I'm obsessed with this lately. I've been eating it so much. And it all started because my friend was eating bruschetta. She just loves bruschetta, but I really just don't like to eat the bread, or I choose not to eat a lot of bread. And so I thought it would be a great idea to try it with the sweet potato. One little thing I forgot to almost tell you guys is that I like to drizzle some balsamic on top. So I don't always do this, but because it does have sugar in the balsamic, but generally, especially if I'm serving it for other people, you're just gonna do a nice little drizzle on top. You could also put it right into the tomato mix if you'd prefer, but I just really love that punch of the balsamic. So I just like to do a nice little drizzle on top, just like that. There you go. All right, and now it is time to enjoy these delicious, smelling so good sweet potato bruschetta. And I really hope you try it because it's just packed with lots of great things and it's full of flavor. So I'm sure your guests are gonna enjoy it, even though it is something completely different that I'm sure you've ever tried. It is so yummy. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed that recipe, or at least I hope you give it a try. It's super yummy. Also, I just wanted to touch base again about that test. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to be using it for Christmas presents this year. I just think that it's important for us to know exactly what's going on with our bodies in order to be able to take care of it properly. And I think if I was having trouble trying to figure out what foods were bothering me, then I'm sure many other people are having the same issue, and I just really think it's important. So my dad's probably going to be getting one for Christmas. Shh, don't tell him yet. And I'm just, like really excited about it because I think it's important. So yeah, to all of those people that I love out there and to everybody else that follows along, I just really truly hope that you take care of yourselves, you live an amazing life, stress-free or as limited as possible, lots of sleep, lots of water, lots of green vegetables, and limit those sugars and crap, and figure out your body. Find out what your body wants, what your body doesn't want. Lots of exercise and movement obviously is amazing as well. And just do it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Love you all. I will be back again soon to share lots more information. And until then, have a wonderful day. Mwah! Love you. And don't forget to move your body. Move your body. Just move. Just move. Just move. Just move. Just move. And dance. And dance. And dance. And dance. And dance. All right, here we go. Yum. You guys have to try these.